Specifically in the Delaware housing market, I got three topics that are really interesting. Three things you may have missed that are extremely interesting out of the housing market nationally and in Delaware. So I want to break them down really quick. So if you don't know, Zachary Faust with Loft Realty, we're here every single week breaking down the housing market. And right now in Delaware, we're seeing two main factors, right? The main factor is we have more demand for home buying than a lot of other states in our area. Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, all states with higher property taxes, higher shopping taxes, and predominantly higher purchase prices. It's leading a lot of people to, from Philly, walk over the line into Wilmington, for people to scoot over the line from Salisbury into Millsboro, Harbison, Georgetown, Seaford, Laurel, all these different places. And what we're seeing, guys, is we're seeing Delaware in a position where it's outperforming the market nationally that's already at a fiery pace. And what I mean by that is our price point is at a higher pace than most other states in our surrounding area in forms of year over year. How much was it worth last year versus today? And that's causing a lot of strife in the market because first-time home buyers are the second factor in Delaware. See, Delaware, between military, between medical, between colleges, we are a mecca for the first-time home buyer market. But see here, check this out. In a world where there's high demand for housing, there's lots of people lined up. Let's say we got 15 people just lined up waiting for a house. When a house hits the market, well, now we're going to have a bidding war. Now we're getting big asking offer price, big asking, over asking offers. And the first time home buyer is STOL. They're sitting there and the defecation's hitting the oscillation for them. And they're like, what are we going to do? It's been 2 years. I've been trying to get into a house. Interest rates are high. Rent keeps going higher. Nothing's slowing down. So right now, one of the biggest things I'm finding interesting is the first time home buyer needs assistance, needs help, needs programs, needs a different market, whether it be more income on average at their jobs or interest rates that are sustainable to get a mortgage payment that isn't $2,700, $3,700, $4,000 a month. That's the first thing I'm finding interesting. The second thing I'm finding interesting is this market is really starting to get set. And what I mean by that is a psychological term called price anchoring. And it derives from a science called neuro-linguistic programming. Not to get too geeky, but price anchoring essentially is when you've been at a price for such a time or you've been at a higher price point before, and so now it starts kind of feeling normal. You're anchored into the price. A great example is when gas, we were at like 270, 280, and then it started creeping up and it was 320. I don't like this. I hate this. 340. I got to stop driving so much. 360. I'm altogether just not going to drive. We peaked over 380. People were stopping like just their daily commutes because driving was so expensive. Gallons of gas were high threes, and then we peaked over the fours. The world was blowing up for a time, and then once we fell right back into the 365, 370, 380 range, a funny thing happened. There was no pandemonium. There was no chaos. There were just people that understood this is the price. This is our new normal. And hey, it's not over 4 anymore. And I feel a lot of people are viewing interest rates in a similar fashion. Like, hey, they're not 7% anymore. Hey, they're not 6.5, 6.78, 6.8, 6.9, whatever they are. They're swiveling in the mid sixes right now. And there's a strong possibility they get into the high fives again. But my point is, these interest rates aren't getting back into 2s and 3s and 4s. And what I'm finding really interesting about the Delaware market is no one seems to really worry at this point about the fact that interest rates are higher. There's still a heavy amount of demand. We're still seeing above asking offers, and we're still seeing homes sell fast, which is extremely interesting because you think in a market with less affordability, buyer demand would slow down, but that's not the case. I find that extremely interesting. And the third thing we're finding interesting is the Sussex County market right now has ballooned itself in the form of its price point from a mid 300s to now a mid 400s median sales price, not average. The average sales price gets into closer to the 500s, but because of the new construction, because of the beach homes, because of the farmland, because of all the different opportunities come with Sussex County, we're seeing price points shoot up. And something I predicted on YouTube, we just put it up about a week and a half ago, one of my top 5 predictions for 2023 is that prices don't slow down. Sussex County is no exception. Newcastle County has a lot of outward pressure from Philly, from places like Jersey, where we have so much outward pressure coming from the long-term owners that are moving from PA, Jersey, Connecticut. Talking with someone right now in Maine. We have a couple people from Connecticut, believe it or not, that are selling their average $700,000 house and moving down and having all the cash they need in the world to buy something in or around Sussex County, getting to the beaches, getting to the golf courses, getting near all the things they want to be around for the longevity of their life and their family. So what I'm seeing that's interesting is a market that isn't slowing down, one that's getting a high amount of demand, one that has buyers that are starting to perk up their ears a little bit more at the thought of a high 5% interest rate when just 3 years ago, that would have been completely not even thought of as an option. We're getting more price anchored in where we're at as a society, and Sussex County and alike the rest of the 3 counties are seeing so much demand from out-of-state buyers. And you may not like to hear that because you don't want the out-of-state traffic. We already get enough from the beach. I get that. But I'm here to tell you what's going on. And what's going on is if you look at a tax map of who's leaving, who's going, PA, Jersey, Virginia, New York, Connecticut, New Hampshire, all the way up the coast, you'll see are blood red on a tax map in terms of how much money they're losing year after year from the people that are making money within those states. And they're coming to Delaware. They're going to North Carolina. They're going to Florida. They're going to these retirement states, and Delaware is slowly becoming one of them. The outward pressure's there, which means price points don't slow down. And if you're still waiting for that crash, I don't know what to tell you. So if you're in this position, you're like, Zach, I want to buy a house. I don't know what to do. Here are the 3 things I would say to do right now. Number 1, save money. Used to say get over $5,000. I'm going to suggest getting over $10,000 to $15,000 liquid savings that you have access to. Liquid assets do you have access to? Number 2, credit score. Get it to like 680, 700. Get positioned for every program out there. Stop just skirting the line over 620. Stop not looking at it every single week. Stop ignoring it, thinking it's just going to get better. Look at your credit score. Examine your credit score. Hit up us. We can get you connected with someone who can help fix it for free. Of course, they want to write your mortgage when it comes that time, but they'll fix it for free. So get that to above 680. And the last thing is please understand this. Your taxable income is the direct reflection of how much home you can afford. What you make every single year versus what you have to pay every single year, that difference is what you can afford in a home. So if you're not actively seeking out ways to make more money, spend less money, you are not doing yourself a service. This is the time to get prepared. This is the time to get ready. And if you're thinking of selling and you're like, I don't know what I would even buy, set up a time, jump on a call, DM me right now. We can jump on a 15-minute call, talk about that exact thing. But that is our weekly housing market update. The 3 things I'm finding interesting. And if you want to know more, check us out on YouTube. Get